Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Embers and Insights. I'm Chris,
And I'm Bobby.
and today we have, I would say, a pretty important topic that we're covering because I think every cigar smoker, at least once in their cigar smoking experience, has come across
Of course.
burn issues on a cigar. So we're going to kind of go over some of the burn issues and how to fix those specific burn issues. I feel like, though, as I've gotten more mature of a smoker, I don't have. I feel like the burn issues were more
User
on
error.
me,
Yeah.
on user error versus the cigar maybe not being properly rolled, which happens sometimes.
Of course.
It's not every cigar is perfect, but they're still manageable to smoke if you're able to kind of correct that issue quickly.
Yeah, there's many ways to remedy this situation, and we're going to dive through some different burn issues, and we're also going to talk about how to fix those burn issues. So there's a couple different reasons why your cigar may not be burning properly. It could be due to user error, like we spoke about earlier.
Yep.
It could be due to some different types of manufacturing issues. You know, if you're smoking cigars that are not rolled tight enough, or they're too loose, not filled with enough tobacco, you may run into some issues there.
Have you ever run across that issue with certain cigars? I haven't, but I don't know if I'd be able to pinpoint it out either.
Not so much with premium cigars, but cigars that are mixed fill, some bundles, you do get occasional ones that are underfilled, and you can kind of feel that when you're touching the cigar itself.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there are spots where it's a bit underfilled. Also, another thing is regularly maintaining the proper humidity in your humidifier. Regularly maintaining the proper humidity and where you're storing your cigars, whether it's a humidor, a tupperware, in a Boveda bag. You want to make sure that you either have a 69% or a 72% humidity pack in there, just to keep regulating and keep all the cigars stored freshly. Because one of the other issues is if your cigar gets dried out, it is prone to cracking and many other issues that will be unenjoyable and almost unsmokable.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I feel like it does. I feel like it does come down to how you properly store your cigars for the ultimate smoking experience. In terms of your cigars having burn issues, the wrapper being too dry, or also being too, I guess, moist.
Yeah, over-humidification as well.
Over-humidification stinks when you're squeezing the cigar and it feels like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a lot of it, but it really does determine how you are humidifying your cigars, storing them properly for the best smoking experience, because you're going to want to make sure that it is maintained at the best,
Humidification level.
Yeah, I guess the best humidification level as possible, because you don't want it to, one of them, the first one is tunneling, right? So tunneling is it's hard to maybe see here, but it's where there would be pretty much like a hole in the center of your cigar. Tunneling will happen when I believe it's too moist in between the inside and the outside. And then it will cause a tunnel within the cigar, and you're not going to get. I feel like you're going to be dragging. You're going to be trying to inhale too much or puff too much, and the draw is going to be really difficult to do that. But a sign of that it's tunneling is that you will see like a little circle. I don't know if you can see, but like a little circle in the center of your cigar, and it looks like it goes a little deeper, like a tunnel.
Yeah, another issue with tunneling that I've learned over the years is that when the cigar is rolled, all the filler tobacco may not be evenly distributed. So you may get sometimes where there's a stem in there, or there's just the filler tobacco is not equally distributed. That's another issue that I've ran into with tunneled cigars. Boxes of 20, 25 cigars are almost perfect on all aspects. It depends on the manufacturer, vendor, brand, et cetera, but they usually say that there's one in there that's usually a flavor bomb, like a nicotine bomb, and there may be one in there that does not burn the best.
Yeah, a lot of people, you even hear manufacturers say they'll admit sometimes in a box of 25 you might get a dud or two. But that's why if you get a box of 25, you can't judge it based on that one cigar.
Exactly.
And even people who smoke too, they're, regularly, they're like, yeah, I bought a box of 25, and like they don't smoke the same. I'm like, yeah, not every cigar is the same.
Exactly.
So you're not going to get the same experience. You might get some flavor, like similar flavors between each cigar, but each cigar is rolled differently.
Yeah, that's why it's good to smoke at least 2 or 3 to really gauge
And
your ideals of the flavors and what the
yeah.
cigar really is going to be. Because if it's consistent, then that's a great cigar. And if you get 1 out of the 3 that may be bad and the other 2 were good, then you know that one was maybe just a dud in the box.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to speak for the cigar you're smoking, but the one I'm smoking, the Drew Estate Chateau Real, I've yet to have an issue with this cigar.
Yeah.
In terms of any burn or construction issues, it's really good.
Yeah,
and I know
Drew Estate has great quality control at their factory. And
they're
all their cigars that I've smoked, and I know many of my friends have smoked, they're all flawless. So I haven't ran into many issues with their stuff.
And neither that one. I've smoked that one 1,000 times.
Yeah, the Mill DS by Crown Heads.
No pun intended.
Another quality assured brand that makes sure that everything that's coming out they're releasing is pristine.
Yeah.
I haven't had many burn issues. I don't have to retouch these. I haven't had any that have really tunneled on me. They're all solid. They're both solid smokes.
A cause for tunneling is what we just mentioned earlier in the video, is the humidifying process of the cigar can cause that.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is if it's too moist, or if the moisture levels are anywhere outside of 69 to 72, that could cause tunneling. Even right before you smoke it, it's just going to build up and cause that. So again, make sure that you're humidifying your where you have a humidor, whether you have a tubador, wherever you're storing your cigars, you just have to make sure that they are properly humidified, whether it's in a bunch of bags, like Ziploc bags with Bovida packs.
Yep.
Make sure that they are, just properly humidified. Check it more than a few times. I would say check it a few times a month. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah, I try to check mine.
Because right now I have a tubador and I put Bovida bags in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always checking, I feel like I have a reminder, in my head movies clock, every Friday or during the weekend, check and just see.
Yeah, it's always good to keep an eye on your cigars, and if they're humidified properly, that's a huge thing. And if they're not, it's going to negatively affect your experience.
What's another issue that you can come across?
So
burn issue wise,
one that I have seen frequently, and this may be more so on the user error side, is cigar canoeing. So many smokers know what canoeing is. It's when it burns more so on one side of the cigar than the other.
Hence looking like a canoe.
Canoe. Thank you, Chris.
Well, no, I was just saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. But another cause of this may be, again, humidity imbalance. And also partially user error. Some people don't light the cigar fully around the edge, or they'll just take the lighter and just light one side and puff on it and start smoking it, and not really check if the whole foot of the cigar is toasted properly.
Yeah, toasted, yeah.
So if you're going to start smoking your cigar and only the bottom half of the foot is lit, then you're going to wind up tuttling.
That's been my issue.
Or canoeing,
too.
excuse me.
That's been my issue when I first started, and even I see a lot of new cigar smokers. They don't light it properly, around like that. They might just hold it and light maybe just the top portion, or point it and light just the top portion to where the bottom is not lit at all. And if you don't check and see, and you're just continuing to puff, when you do that causes canoeing. Now I don't know the proper way to fix a canoed cigar. For me, I just see what part of the cigar is not burnt evenly, and I'll light that part.
Yep.
I'll light it a little bit, right? And I've noticed, and it might sound weird, I used to do this all the time. When I light my cigar, and if it's not all lit all around, I'll blow on it. Mm-hmm. I try to evenly. I'll burn it on the side that's not evenly, that's not matched with the ash. Mm-hmm. I'll lay it, and then I'll blow on it until it does kind of meet that. So let's say, it's kind of hard to see, but let's say this part down here, right?
Yep.
Had the ash, and then this part was canoed. I'll light that, and I'll blow it around until that becomes all ash, and then I will properly ash it out.
Yep.
I don't know is there a different way that you fix a canoe? Cigar?
If you want to hand me the lighter real quick. Apart from what Chris said, you just want to be sure to not damage the wrapper too much if you're lighting from the outside. If your cigar is canoeing down one end, like Chris was talking about, if you want to burn from the inside and kind of get that to not affect the wrapper taste.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
We've been smoking for some time, so we know not to torch the whole entire wrapper. So you just have to be conscious of if you are trying to fix a canoe using a lighter and touching it up, is to try to burn from the inside of the cigar out.
And don't ever, like I would say, you don't hold it to whether the inside or the outside for not even 3 Mississippis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. It's a quick thing to make sure it's burnt, so then it can evenly burn around, and that's how I fixed canoeing before.
Yeah.
But this is definitely like you said, a user error burn issue, in my opinion.
Yeah, for the most part, it is.
For the longest time, I hate to admit, I rarely burned rarely lit my cigars evenly. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was just rushing to get the cigar lit. Yeah. But now I'll take my time. I'll toast it a few more times, light it, toast it, and make sure it's properly burnt because I just want the best smoking experience, and I think lighting it properly is the way to go.
For sure. For sure. Another way to fix canoeing, if it hasn't gone too far down the wrapper, is to periodically rotate the cigar in between your fingers. Or another thing that I like to do is if I have, one side that's burning too much and the other side isn't burning as well, I'll retoast the foot and I'll kind of leave it just sitting on the ashtray or on top of a lighter, and then just slowly let the burn even itself out. That's another thing that I've seen that works a little bit, aside doing a touch up.
All right, what's the next one? Gooning?
Yeah, coning. I don't really know what that is. Oh, this is like when you're smoking it too fast.
Oh, do you want?
Like I always do.
So is that coning?
Yeah, I smoke it like a cigarette. Yeah, I'll talk about it.
All right.
So, no, you're good. You're good. I didn't realize what it was until I read into it. So another issue that you'll commonly see, and this tends to happen for people that like to smoke fast, myself sometimes, or ex-cigarette smokers, is cigar coning. So coning is basically when you have, like you see here, I'm prone to smoking very fast. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just want that nicotine buzz, whatever happens, but it really is like the opposite of tunneling. So if you're smoking way too quick, you'll start to see a cone formation start at the edge or at the foot of the cigar. And it's basically because the wrapper is burning too fast than the filler tobaccos, which is a huge, I don't want to say a negative effect on the cigar, but it won't be as consistent as smoking it and enjoying it as the smoking time permits. So one thing to really overcome that is to just kind of slow down your smoking, put your cigar down for a little bit. You don't have to constantly be taking puffs of it. You just want to have a smoke at a slow, steady pace. It's okay if your cigar goes out. They can be relit. Mm-hmm. It's totally fine, and it'll also lengthen your smoking time.
Look at him. That was so well put. Bobby the man. No, but
hey, I try, man.
No, but you're right. I mean, there's really no rush to smoking it. So if you are seeing some issues occur, yeah, the best thing you could do is put it down for 5 minutes or so. It probably will not remain lit. So you could always relight it, and that's where you can kind of like, all right, here's another step, or a do-over kind of, sort of speak, to see, all right, let me fix it, and let's see what we can get out of, I guess, a situation that didn't start off, I guess, ideally, right?
Yeah, you really want to take a puff of your cigar maybe every 30 to 60 seconds, I would say.
I've heard every 60 seconds. Yeah. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I'm
like every 15
smoker.
seconds.
Yeah, I'm just constantly going. Yeah. You'll see on some of our other podcasts and other videos.
Yeah, no, I mean...
it's just sometimes you just need that nicotine fix, man.
I totally agree.
It's...
I'm dying. The next one, I haven't experienced this one. I don't know if you have.
Cigar splitting?
Yeah.
So I haven't really experienced it in the sense of while I'm smoking. I've experienced
like the wrapper cracking.
The wrapper cracking.
Yeah. All right. So let me rewind. If that's where we're going from, then yes, I have come across where wrappers have cracked from when I cut it too much, from it not being humidified properly.
Yes.
To where it's super dry. That can kind of cause, that will cause issues in your smoking experience. So let's say you have a crack in the cigar about like halfway in, right? In your second, third, right there. Unfortunately, there's a little crackage.
Yep.
A little, nothing major.
Yep.
That all depends now. When you get to that point, it's going to affect your smoking experience, but I think it is very manageable.
Yes.
I think if it's at that point, I'll kind of let the cigar burn. Like I'll let the cigar do its job.
Yep.
I'll let it burn through that before I try to attempt to smoke any cracks in the wrapper.
Exactly.
Or maybe in the binder as well.
Yeah,
I'll kind of let it do its job.
Yeah,
there.
You don't want to rip the wrapper off when
Never.
It starts to crack. You want to just kind of, it may change the flavor notes and the flavor profile of the cigar, but you just want to try your best to just kind of smoke through it evenly and just, hope for the best.
Dude,
you don't really want to fudge around with the wrapper of the cigar, or you'll ruin the whole smoking experience, or it has a chance to unravel on you.
I'll never tell anyone like what I used to do when I was a beginner cigar smoker, or that kind of stuff. People would like banish me from smoking cigars.
Hey man, we've done it all.
I'm just saying if the wrapper was peeling, I'd take it off. And I'd be like, oh, let me see how it tastes with the binder.
Yeah.
Portion, right? That's the binder. The binder is exposed next.
Yep, the binder holds all the filler in there.
So the binder is exposed next. And, let me see how it would taste. I would never have a good smoking experience when I would do that, right?
No, never.
So that's why you have to kind of let it naturally burn, the cigar burn. Because whether you believe it or not, whether you're new to smoking or not, like, see? Like around this area is extremely hot, so it's burning up in there to where it can, like, it's probably going to be bleeding to, the second or third portion of the cigar where it can really start to loosen stuff up or kind of take care of itself. So, with cigar splitting, I would say it's just kind of like, it's God, it's in God's hands, and let them figure it out. And let it figure out, let it kind of fix itself in terms of, instead of kind of like going in there and licking it and trying to patch it up or peel it, it's going to affect the cigar smoke.
Yeah.
Completely.
And then for cigar splitting as you're smoking, it's basically when the ash or the foot of the cigar splits into two.
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah. So in that case, that can be from fast smoking. Again, like we mentioned before, taking rapid puffs of the cigar, and also substantial differences in humidity levels between where you're storing your cigar and where you're smoking your cigar.
It's all about them humidity levels.
Exactly. So if you are smoking, let me back up. If your cigar is stored at 69%, 72% humidity level, and then you're going out in Florida in August or one of those hotter, really humid months, you may start to notice some cigars splitting. So, a way to fix that is, dry boxing your cigar before smoking, or lowering the humidification inside your humidor completely.
Another common mistake that you may be unaware of is your cigar burning too hot and too fast. And yes, that is such a thing. If a cigar burns too fast, it's going to interfere with how you are intaking and tasting the flavor notes.
Yes.
And if it's too hot, I would just assume that it could also really, really kind of mix things up within the cigar, right? It might kind of burn the fillers too fast, and fillers are a very important part of the cigar, right?
Absolutely.
And this is basically caused by, like we said, we've been saying throughout the entire episode, if you're just taking a puff every 5 to 10 seconds, that's not really ideal. You do see a lot of people, whether you go to lounges or you're smoking with someone, they take long drawn out draws and puffs of the cigar, and then you can count, like you even count for yourself, count up to 60 and then take another puff. It's tough sometimes if you're on video like we are. if you are with, you know, if you're trying to, I don't want to say rush through a cigar, but if you're at a, let's say you're at a wedding or an event where it doesn't allow you to have that hour to hour and a half time to sit and smoke. And even like if I don't golf, I know you do, but even golfing, I feel like for me, if I were to golf and smoke a cigar, I'd be constantly relighting it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
are.
So that might be the best smoking experience, but I'm not the biggest fan of having to relight a cigar like 7 to 8 times.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But yeah, that's what causes it. And I think, you know, I don't know how you would fix it, but like for me, I would just, like I said, take your time.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is just
don't rush. I mean, we're a little bit different because we have to smoke cigars for videos and our job, and we may not have the 2-hour time window to sit down and smoke a full cigar, testing a bunch of blends.
Yep.
That's very different. But if you do find yourself over the weekend, any time off you have, sitting outside or in your lounge or in a lounge and having a good 2-hour window, you really get to really experience the essence of what a cigar means, right? So you would most likely not have those issues if you're taking a puff every minute and a half.
Exactly. Perfectly put.
Thank you.
So if you're smoking too slow, this may happen. This may happen if you are putting your cigar down constantly after each puff and you have to constantly relight. Like Chris said, if you're relighting your cigar 8 to 10 times, it's going to be a little unenjoyable. It's not going to be a fun experience. If you let it go out, 2 or 3 times, that's a little bit different. But also another cause of your cigar not staying lit goes back to humidification. If your cigar is over humidified, it will not stay lit as well as it would be properly humidified. So if you're feeling your cigar out of your humidor or where you have it stored and it's feeling a bit spongy and soft, and you constantly have to put the flame to the foot of the cigar to keep lighting it and lighting it and lighting it, it's definitely too wet or too humidified in that sense. So the different properties of the cigar won't burn in harmony. Your wrapper may burn a little quicker than the filler tobacco, and the binder may not burn at the right speed. It all comes down to humidification at the end of the day with a lot of these issues. And also just improper lighting, smoking speed, smoking outside in the wind will also cause your flame to fail. So there's many different issues on why your cigars won't stay lit. But if you stay consistent with some of the things that we've taught you here, with keeping your cigar lit properly, lighting it properly to start your smoking session, you shouldn't run into many of these issues. I'm not sure if there's anything you really want to add to that.
No, I think that was perfect. I mean,
something that I like to do, and someone taught me a long time back, is if you have your cigar stored wherever you have it stored, humidor, Boveda bag, Tupperware, many different variations, take the cigar out maybe like 10 or 15 minutes before you're going to smoke it, just so it can get acclimated to the climate. And that may help with a lot of the issues here that we talked about.
Yeah, that too. I mean, there might be times where if you go to a lounge, most of them are in cellophane. Mm-hmm. Get your cigar, take it out of the cellophane, let it get acclimated to the element there.
Yep.
In the lounge, order yourself a drink. Like, this is not supposed to be a rushed process. If you're outside, if I'm going to be during the summertime, I'm really smoking a lot, or more than I do in the winter. Bring your cigar outside, let it sit in the sun while you're in the pool, while you're grilling, while you're just hanging out, and then let it get acclimated. And then I feel like it's a lot easier to light and kind of jump into.
Absolutely.
So, that's a great point. So thank you guys again for watching another video of Embers and Insights. We hope you found this video informative. We've all had burn issues. We're just kind of here to kind of reinforce the things you can do so you don't have any burn issues and you can kind of enjoy your cigar properly. So for cigars.com, I'm Chris.
And I'm Bobby.
And until next time.